You've likely heard this suggestion before, save at least 10% of your income. But for some, socking away that much cash is not easy. And even for those who can afford it, many don't do it. In our week-long series called Starting Strong in 2016, we look at 5 ways to get a handle on your money. So far this week, we've explored how to earn more, spend less, and borrow less. We've got 2 more topics to go. Today, we focus on how to save more. Kerry Taylor is a financial writer at Squawk Fox. Now, why is it so hard? I mean, talk to anybody, and it is hard for a whole bunch of reasons.
Saving money is hard, and that's because you are the only one that wants to save the cash. Everyone else wants you to spend it. So we get a lot of messages.
Sometimes I want to spend it too.
Well, we get all these messages, right? It's like, treat yourself, you're worth it. And then all the ads say, buy today, you'll save 50%. But this is bunk, right? That's spending, that's not saving. In order to save the money, you actually have to set it aside and have some goals set for that.
Okay, so how do you start? Is it goals? Does it begin with goals?
Well, certainly. I would say start with figuring out what your personal savings rate is. Yeah.
That sounds like a kind of cool number.
Well, it's a really simple number. So basically, look at the percentage of money you're able to set aside based on your after-tax income.
Okay.
So for example, if you take home $4,000 a month and you're able to set aside $200, your savings rate is 5%.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so the idea is use this as your baseline, and the goal is to aim a little bit higher. I mean, Canadians' household savings rate right now is at 4.2%. So I think that we can do a lot better with that. And so take the baseline of your personal savings rate and boost it higher.
Now, how do you then find that $200 or hopefully $250 or $300? How do you find that money?
Well, how about a 3-step plan?
Okay, love it.
The first step is know what horizon you have for your savings. Okay, so we've got long-term goals and short-term goals. So open up an account based on your time horizon. So if you're saving for retirement, open up your RSP account. The idea is to create the container to put the money in.
Right.
So you can also open a tax-free savings account or your emergency fund. And open the accounts, get the bucket ready to put the money in. Step 2 is, I'm sorry, you're laughing.
It's really great. No, I love it. I love it. I love multiple steps.
Okay, step 2 then. Here we go. You're going to have to boost your savings rate. So put the money in the account, know how much is going to go in there, and make it active. Don't passively wait for that money to appear at the end of the month, because that never works.
Right.
Look at how much you make a month, look at how much you're going to put aside, divide it into 12, and automatically put that money in. Just transfer in, don't touch it.
Was that the 3rd step?
That's your 3rd step.
Okay, gosh, I don't want to interrupt you this time. So what are some strategies that you would employ to improve the delta, to either increase income or cut spending so you've got something to put in?
Right, so you got to have the money. So the first thing is save when the saving's good. When you get a boost in your income, if you have what do you call it? A bonus, thank you. Or someone gives you some cash. When that money comes in, don't spend it. Don't increase your lifestyle. Don't have the inflation of your lifestyle. Put it in that account, because down the road, times could be tough. You could get ill. You could become unemployed. And it's good to save when the saving is good so that you have the cash there.
What guidance would you have for how people allocate fixed resources amongst those 3 things, short-term, long-term, and really long-term retirement? How do they balance that?
Well, I mean, basically look at saving 10 to 15% of your income, and then, where do you need to put the money most? Like if you haven't started your RSP yet and you're in your 40s,
time to do that.
Put it there. Take the tax deduction. When you get the deduction back, put that money in your tax-free savings account or pay down some debt. So there's lots of different ways to move that money, and you also need some emergency savings. So put a few bucks away.
I would argue you and I both have a predisposition to being savers, given our focus on personal finance. For those who don't, who would say, "Listen, I'm just a spender," what additional element would you add for them? Someone whose temperament does not lean this way.
Pay yourself second. How's that?
Okay.
That's something new.
Yeah.
Everyone says pay yourself first, but we don't get to keep all the money. So be like the CRA and pay yourself second, because you have to pay the CRA first. And they have this handy little thing where they take the money off the top. You never get to see it. You don't get to touch the cash. So do that once the money comes in your account. Don't touch it.
Pre-authorized contribution has nothing to do with you. It just disappears like magic.
Transfer that money out and put it into those buckets where you save that money.
What is one call to action you would give to people who want to start strong in 2016?
You know what? I think it's really encouraging to know that it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you don't spend. Savings comes from wealth. It doesn't flow from your income. I've met people who make tons of cash and
Yeah.
they blow through all of it. They spend the whole thing.
Right.
And then I've met families that live on really modest incomes and they're millionaires. And that's because savings work for you in the same way that debt can work against you. So, look at what your current savings rate is, and wherever you are today, don't be discouraged, because you can always boost it by cutting spending or increasing your income, and know that, as long as you set some money aside, you're going to be good to go.
You're better than you were that last year if we take your tips.
You
Kerry,
are, Bruce.
Thank you very much.